Okay, Starix World Building Part 5. Today is all about skills, player skills, and enemy skills, NPC skills. They mostly have to do with combat, but I was thinking they could probably work outside of combat in certain ways too, especially like health and some of the other ones you'll see. But the first one here is health. And health is the amount of lifeblood that your body contains. It's the amount of lifeblood that you have. The lifeblood surges through the veins of Arcanists. Without lifeblood, an Arcanist will die. Unfortunately, the echoes are attracted to its power and seek it out. So enemies will, feed off of this lifeblood. And that's why the echoes will search out Arcanists to kill them, because they will actually take their lifeblood power and become more powerful when they kill an Arcanist. Also, if one Arcanist kills another Arcanist in a duel, they will absorb their lifeblood immediately. It's one other idea that I was thinking of. And lifeblood's not really like a physical thing. It's more of a concept that the Arcanists have come up with to explain the power that they have. So it would affect like 100 health points per level that you have. And you start out, for example, at level 3, so you'd have like 300 hit points. And the skills can be modified by different factors, like your weapon and armor. So then that gets added by a modifier to your base skill. That's lifeblood, and it's called health. The next one's energy. Energy is a resource required to use abilities, and I was going to have it where you gain 1 energy point per turn. It's a resource required to use abilities. It must be managed strategically. An aura of energy gives Arcanists their incredible strength to manipulate the elements and perform incredible feats. So it's similar to lifeblood, but rather than just keeping them alive and healthy, the energy is what they're actually using. So I think that would be similarly to lifeblood. Like if you defeat another Arcanist in battle, you're going to gain their energy or something like that. So you just gain 1 energy point per level, and then 1 energy regen per turn per every 3 levels of energy that you have. And different abilities cost different amount of energy. I was also thinking that in the exploration part of the game, you need to actually spend energy points to move from location to location. Next skill is attack, and this is pretty obvious what this one will do. Symbol here is a little blade or bladika, which is obviously what the weapons are called in this. And this is just the damage of your basic attacks. So my lore here, it says ancient warriors have razed cities with a sweep of their weapon. They've left craters with 1 blow even. So some Arcanists are so powerful that they can destroy huge areas with just their bladika. So here's you get like 100 attack damage per level. So it's kind of like health points. You get 100 points per level that you level up in your attack. And Enemies will have different attack levels too, so that's just a flat amount that gets taken off of your health when you get attacked, or off of your enemies when they get attacked. Next skill is critical, and this is kind of like a blood splatter effect, but it's also kind of like a spark. That's what the symbol is. And this determines the likelihood of landing a critical hit, which deals double your attack damage. So if you're level 1 attack and you get a critical, you'll do 200 damage. You get 3% critical chance per level. And devastating and cataclysmic attacks sometimes seem to have a mind of their own. That's the lore behind this skill. And that kind of means that power can be unpredictable. The power of the Arcanists can be hard to control, and sometimes they're a lot more powerful than they even think they are. So that's each of the skills kind of ties into the lore a little bit, and I try to make them make sense within the lore. Next, we have defense. It's the amount of damage that is absorbed when attacked. So you get 2% damage absorption per level, and that'll be the percentage that gets subtracted. And I think there's like one little pixel mistake here. Yes, there is. There's one pixel out of place there. Very peculiar. I think I noticed that before, but I forgot to fix it. Anyway, it's the turtle, and the turtle has always been a symbol of resilience for the Arcanists. So there's 4 animals that are revered by the Arcanists, and the first one is the turtle, and that represents the skill of defense. Next skill is luck. And I actually changed this one. It used to be called speed. And when I went for more of a turn-based combat system idea, I just changed it to luck. And luck is kind of interesting because it has two different factors to it. First of all, it determines the likelihood of avoiding status effects completely, and the chance of receiving double loot from an enemy when the enemy dies, or from a cache, which is like a chest of loot. It's a loot box. Yep. Everybody loves loot boxes, right? Microtransactions. No. Never. So you get 5% status effect avoiding per level. So if, like, for example, an enemy tries to put some status effect on you, you have a chance of avoiding it completely. And then 3% double loot chance per level. So the lore is that hares wander around the fields of Starix, and they're considered sacred by Arcanists. So that's the second animal that the Arcanists kind of learned from, and they watch them, and they'll take care of them. And a lot of these are as pets. The next skill is ward, and ward determines the likelihood of warding, which damages the enemy equal to the amount of attack damage they deal to you. So it reflects the damage back onto the enemy. It doesn't reflect the damage back, but it actually it damages you and the enemy equally. So you're still going to take the damage, but if the enemy damages you, he'll get hurt too. And vice versa. Some enemies could have a really high warding level, so you'd have to be careful there. Maybe use an ability to lower their ward so that if you do a really powerful critical attack, it doesn't all... Well, actually, I wouldn't have it because it's 3% ward chance per level, but I wouldn't have it actually... I wouldn't have it be a factor with critical hits because that might be too much, so it would just be regular attack damage. The tree frog is a strange creature from the heart of the jungle. Its skin is toxic, which deters predators. So the story behind that is that, like, if a bird eats a poisonous frog, yeah, the frog's gonna die, but the bird will also die too. So it's gonna hurt both of them in the end. That's the idea behind that. And lastly, the final skill, and also the final animal of the Arcanists, is Evade. Determines the likelihood of avoiding attacks completely. You get 1 evasion chance per level, and this is a Nighthawk, and the Nighthawk symbolizes freedom, and they're common birds around Starix. I'm going to zoom out here so we can get a look at all of them. I've also added the plinths down here so we can remember what they look like. Tier 1, 2, and 3. And this is the primitive effigy on top, but any kind of effigy can go on a plinth. Here's all 8 skills: health, energy, attack, critical, defense, luck, ward, and evade. And that's it. That's all about skills. I'll see you in part 6.